Okay, so off we go. So welcome everybody to tonight's webinar. As you can see, tonight we're talking about your first 4 weeks. And this is a series of 8 webinars. This is number 2, your first 4 weeks. As you can see there, last week, actually the week before last, because I couldn't do it last week. 2 weeks ago we did getting started. Next week we're all about building your customer base. And you can see there that 4 and 5 we talk a bit about team building, and then 6, 7 and 8 are those kind of probably the most important parts of the business really, which are about yourself, growing yourself, your attitude, your personal development, that side of the business. I run them about once a week. Occasionally I miss one, so about 9 or 10 weeks to do the whole lot, and they're all recorded, and I'll show you at the end where they all are. So if there's any of them that you kind of think, oh, it'd be really useful to have that one now, then you can just go and watch the recording for that one. You don't have to wait kind of 5 weeks to get to your favourite one. So this week is all about your first 4 weeks. Excuse me, I'll have a quick slurp. Last week we talked about the catalogue side of the business and the online, the Facebook, another online side of the business. And tonight we're just going to be covering other things that you should be doing in your first few weeks. So we're going to be talking about setting and achieving your first goal, a little checklist just to kind of guide you through some of these steps. I'm going to introduce residual income. A lot of people, when they first join Kleeneze, they're just really looking for an extra £50 a week, but I always find it's really useful to be aware of what's possible, even if you choose not to go for it straight away. And then I'm also going to talk again a little introduction to team building, how you can make a quick start to your team building even if you don't really know what to do yet. So that's what we're going to cover. So setting your first goal, one of the things I always find really useful to have a discussion with a new team member, and hopefully you can kind of have this discussion with yourself, even if you haven't got your team leader handy with you, is just making sure you understand what it is you're looking for out of Kleeneze. And what I normally try and do with new team members, and this is what I would recommend you do, is to set your first goal. And you can set a few goals, like a short-term goal, maybe something that you want to achieve in the next month or two, a medium-term goal, so something a bit longer, and then longer-term goals in the next year or two. And it's really important that these goals are emotional and kind of visual. So if someone says to me, oh yeah, well my first goal is to earn kind of £50, or to get my catalogues out, or to find 10 new customers, then that's great. It kind of gives you an idea of what you're aiming for. But what's far more powerful is once you've got those customers and you're earning some money, what do you do? What do you intend to do with that money? So what's the emotional goal? Right? And that could be, usually it's related to your family. I find these are really important goals. So it might just be something like you want to be able to treat the kids to a pizza and a movie once a week. Or you might have some debts that you're worried about, so you just want to be able to pay off that credit card bill so you don't have to worry about the red letters coming through the door every month, or whatever it might be. If those are emotional goals and you feel strongly about them, then you will be far more successful in the business. And once you've kind of decided what your goals are, it's quite important to understand the different parts of the business and which parts to focus on to achieve that first goal. And basically what I mean by that is the fact that there are a couple of different parts to Kleeneze. Retail, I guess you can split into two. There's the catalogue side and the online side now, which is obviously really powerful. But the retail side is the first bit that most people learn, and then the team building is the second part. And very briefly, and this isn't a kind of hard and fast, but very briefly, if you're looking to earn money quickly now, then you should focus on the retail side, because obviously you can start selling things through online and through your catalogues, certainly in your first week, and you can be earning £50, £100 a week from, during your first 2, 3, 4 weeks, first couple of months. If you're more interested in building up a residual income, so maybe you're thinking ahead about a pension, or being able to retire early, so you're not so focused on earning money now, but you're looking to build a bigger income going forward, then you should really focus on the team building. Now, obviously, it's really important to do your own retail as well, but learning about the team building from day one will put you in kind of a good position. And once you've started to think about what your goal is and whether you're going to focus on the retail initially or the team building, you also need to really think about how much time you're going to commit to this. I often get people joining the business and they're not quite sure what they want, but maybe they're looking for a full-time income from it. They're looking for maybe £1,000 a month, but they've only got a couple of hours on a Saturday morning because they're busy the rest of the week. And it's not really realistic. You need to understand, depending on what your goals are, how much time you will need to commit to that, and be prepared to commit that. This isn't a get-rich-quick scheme. You do need to be willing to work hard, but the rewards are there if you are willing to commit that. So, quick question, especially for the new starters, but for people, if you can remember when you first started, what was your first goal when you joined Kleeneze? Or what is your first goal? What would you like to achieve in your first couple of months? Holiday from Andrew. That's great. I really like that. Katrina wanted to get off benefits. Excellent. Okay, Dave and Karen moving up the pay plan. Dave and Karen, can you tell me, obviously, what was it you wanted to do by moving up the pay plan? What did you want to do with the money? Shan, obviously on maternity, Shan, I'm guessing, so wanting to be able to replace that. Provide from the family. Rose, thank you. Yep, wanting to leave home. Yeah, paying off debts. Fantastic. So there's some really good goals there that I think by thinking about them in that sense, rather than having a goal of I want to be able to deliver 250 catalogues, you've got that kind of a if you like, not a light at the end of the tunnel, but a target, a goal to aim for. And as you progress through the business, you can see yourself working towards that goal and achieving it. And that's what makes the business so successful, really, is that the ability to set your own goals, set your own targets, and work towards them. But depending on what your goal is, you need to be patient, you need to give it time. But if you take the actions that you will talk about, that people say, put your catalogues out regularly, post in the Facebook groups regularly, if you take those actions persistently and consistently, they will pay off. So, that all sounds great. We've all set our goals. All we need to do is put a few catalogues out and we'll be there. But let's bring this back a little bit. How do you achieve that first goal? And what I want you to think about is the fact that it's great to have a goal to aim for, but what you should be focusing on is the actions that you can control, the actions that you do, rather than the results. So what do I mean by that? Well, the goals, whatever the goals are, coming off benefits, leaving work, paying for a holiday, the goals themselves are the beautiful things that you're aiming for, and they are achieved by you getting some results. So those results will be orders from your catalogues or from your online advertising, promoting. They will be new team members who join your team and themselves put orders in, and those results will occur because of the action that you take. So let's take an example there. I think Andrew and Amanda said they were saving up for a holiday. So suppose you wanted £1,000 to be able to pay for a holiday in 6 months' time. Sounds good? The results that you will need in order to earn £1,000, and these are just approximate figures just to give you an idea. If you get £5,000 worth of orders at your 20% commission, so this is just based on commission from the main catalogue and it excludes bonuses and so on, so it's just to give you a rough idea. £5,000 worth of orders, around about 20% commission, and you would earn £1,000 in that 6 months, which is the results that you want to get that goal. To earn £5,000 in orders, to generate £5,000 in orders in those 6 months, that's around about £800 worth of orders per month. Now, that's fine. You can understand £800 worth of orders, but you can't actually control how many orders you receive. What you can control is how many catalogues you put out. So on average, if you put out 800 catalogues a month consistently and persistently, and go back for your stragglers and look after your customers as they order from you, over those 6 months, you will be pretty close to getting at least £1 per catalogue in orders. So 800 catalogues per month is about 200 catalogues a week. If these are obviously just the catalogue side of the business, not the Facebook side. So if you started on the main success kit where you've had 250 catalogues, you could certainly put out 200 catalogues once a week. Maybe all on one day, or 100 catalogues on a Monday, 100 catalogues on a Thursday, something like that. So by breaking down your goal, the holiday that you wanted and how much you needed to earn, into how much do I need in orders, and from those orders, approximately how many catalogues do I need to put out, you can now focus on something that you can control. It's entirely up to you whether you put your catalogues out or not. Nobody can stop you. If you want to do it, you can make sure you do it. So once you've got an idea of the catalogues that you wanted to put out, then you need to plan when you can do that, when you can take those actions. So whether that is putting catalogues out or placing your adverts on Facebook groups or a combination, then it's really, really useful, I find, to plan when to do that. If you just sort of think, oh well, I'll just fit it around the rest of my life, and whenever I get a chance I'll do so, then I guarantee you'll get to the end of a week or two and something will crop up and it doesn't get done. So one of the things I recommend you do, and this doesn't have to be on a formal chart like this, just kind of get yourself a piece of paper or a diary or something like that, and just create yourself a little weekly planner. So here's a simple one: Monday to Sunday across the top, morning, afternoon, evenings down the side there. And when I first started, here's an example of the sort of thing that I did. Now this is just the catalogue side because I wasn't doing Facebook at the time. Excuse me. And obviously, if you've got other commitments, such as a full-time job or another part-time job or children to look after, and whatever else you have commitments in your life, then you can block those parts out. But it's useful to make yourself a little schedule. So for example, what this says is, Monday I was picking up some catalogues that I dropped off a few days earlier. So pick up number 1 I do on the Monday. Number 2, Tuesday morning I was picking up the second lot of catalogues and going back for stragglers where people hadn't put the catalogues out on the Monday. Wednesday morning I'd pick up the second lot of stragglers, and then I'd place an order from the catalogues that I'd put out or that I'd collected on the Monday or the Tuesday. So I'm placing that order on the Friday. What I would then do is make sure I've got my catalogues ready to go back out again. So I could do that Wednesday evening, for example. Then Thursday, drop the catalogues ready to pick up the following Monday. Thursday evening, preparing my other catalogues for going out on the Friday. And also on the Friday, I'd be receiving the order that I placed on the Wednesday, ready to sort and deliver to my customers on Friday and over the weekend. So that was me basically putting out, I can't remember how many catalogues I started off with, but if you've got 250, you might split it into 2 drops of 125 each. Obviously, it's entirely up to you. You can do all of them in one go or split them. It's up to you. And as you build more and more catalogues by putting in orders and getting more free catalogues, then your drops can become bigger and you can earn more from them. So having a weekly plan is a really great way just to manage your time and to allow you to fit the Kleeneze business and your actions around the rest of your life. So, quick question: do people kind of have a routine? Does everyone kind of feel now that, I know there's a few of you who've only just started. So at the beginning, it's kind of difficult to work out what your routine is going to be. But as you start to get into it more and more, then you'll find a routine develops, and it's really useful to have a plan. So is anybody kind of starting a plan yet? Anybody kind of working towards this? Okay, Sean. I mean, this obviously isn't compulsory. It's entirely up to you. If you find you're disciplined enough to just fit it around your rest of your life without a plan, then that's brilliant. Yep. I've got to admit, I do the same. I kind of tend to try to stick to a plan just because I know it gets done then. I don't really think about, do I have time to do it or do I not? I just block that time out. So good. Thank you for the feedback there. Yeah, with kids you can't do plans. That's very true, Sean. You just have to get the kids to work with you. Okay, a little checklist of things that you should be doing in your first 4 weeks. My recommendation is, if you can, become immersed in Kleeneze. And what I mean by that is, try to do something with Kleeneze every day. And whether that's just simply putting a few adverts out on Facebook, or picking up some stragglers, or speaking to your sponsor, or whatever. There's a 21-day rule. If you want to develop a new habit, a good habit, then do something every day for 21 days, and it's a much easier way of picking something up then. So, if you've created your weekly planner and you've got an idea of when you're doing your business, and that's great, that's a good thing to do. One thing that I would say is worth doing at the beginning, and I'm going to expand on this in a moment, is just start making a list of people that you know. And this will be useful in a variety of different ways, but specifically if people are close to you, you want them to know that you've got a new business, either because they might become customers, hopefully, or they might even become team members if they see that you're earning money and they want to do the same. So I'll explain how we might use that in a moment. And in terms of your retail, it's really, really important to create a big retail story as quickly as you can. For a variety of different reasons. I always say, hammer the 30-day bonus. Your first 30 days, where you get your free catalogues, you only get that once in your entire Kleeneze business. So spend as much time as you can on it in your first 30 days. Spend more time on it than you really want to. You can always back off a little bit in the next month or two if you need to, but put as much effort into it at the beginning, because this will do a couple of things. By talking to your friends, your family, your neighbours, putting your catalogues out, doing everything that you can to generate orders. Apart from anything else, you'll get lots of free catalogues, which is really useful. And also you develop a kind of a momentum that keeps you really going. And I've seen this a lot, especially with all of the online feedback. People kind of get addicted to putting things in groups and getting orders and putting more things in groups and turning the orders around quickly and so on. And one of the values of doing this is when you start team building, and a lot of people don't, but if you do start team building, a lot of people, when they first ask you about the business, will say, well, how much did you earn at the beginning? And if you say to them, well, to be honest, in my first 6 months I didn't really earn very much because I just messed about with it, then they're going to sort of think, okay, so I'm not sure if this is right for me. Whereas if you say to them, oh yeah, in my first month I earned about £250, so just over £50 a week. Second month I was about £400, so I was up to £100 a week pretty quickly. Then those are the sorts of figures that really make a big difference to people. We talk a lot about in Kleeneze about the earnings that are possible, and with some of the top earners earning up tens of thousands of pounds a month, that's fantastic. But when people are first learning about the business, especially somebody who knows you, if they can see that somebody that they know and they like and they trust has already can show them how to earn £50 or £100 a week, that's a really powerful story. So it's great to do that and work hard at the beginning to make sure you achieve that. And there's a whole range, a whole raft of books that we recommend as a Kleeneze distributor that will help you in all parts of lots of different parts of the business. But one of the best to get started off with is it's called the 45-second presentation by a chap called Don Thaler. And it's a great book because it's only about 50 pages long, big words, lots of pictures, so literally you can read it in one session, kind of half an hour at the most. And it really just explains the power of network marketing. It's got nothing to do with Kleeneze on its own, but it explains the value of team building. And as I say, even at the beginning, even if you're not thinking at all about becoming a team leader or starting to build a team, it's really useful to understand how it works, because a lot of successful team leaders find their first team member by accident. A customer wants to join, or a friend sees that you're being successful and they want to join. So it's useful to have a little bit of background there, and that book's a great place to get that. The other thing that I really recommend, and this isn't just for your first 4 weeks, this is for your whole business, is attend as many meetings as you can possibly manage. I talked about putting in a lot of effort in your first 21 days. If you can get to one of these meetings, an open evening or a local kind of millionaires, or the big one, or the go for the Pizzeria's ones up at Harrogate, there are lots and lots of meetings about that you can go to, trainings, even just your little sizzles that your local team will have. And of course the big meetings at Birmingham, the showcases. And get to as many of those as you can, because it will just open your eyes to what you can achieve in this business. And you get to mix with like-minded people, other people that are going through what you've gone through, other people that are kind of maybe doing what you were doing, but they're just 6 months ahead of you. So it kind of gives you an aspiration to achieve what they've achieved as well. And finally, just make sure you speak to your sponsor regularly. There's lots of support online and in all sorts of places, but you can't beat having a really active sponsor who you speak to and call and have a chat to, even if it's just saying, "Oh, just want to let you know I managed to get my catalogues out all right. Got a bit wet, but hey ho, that's life." Because by speaking to your sponsor regularly, they'll be able to give you lots and lots of support, and that's really important, especially for something new if you're in your first few weeks. Okay, residual income. I'm just going to go through this very quickly. A quick definition that I saw of residual income, which I like, is that it's income that you are paid again and again, long after the work that you did to earn it has finished. So typically, we hear about best-selling authors. For example, J.K. Rowling. I don't suppose she has to work again if she didn't want to. #1 hit songwriters, Paul McCartney obviously comes to mind there. If you're a best-selling author or a songwriter, every time somebody buys one of your books or plays one of your songs, then you earn residual income from it. So, I don't know if you're kind of keen on writing. Maybe you'll be writing writing a best-selling novel soon. But if not, don't fret. We can help you. There's a couple of different ways that you can earn residual income that you will know about. So one is, and this is quite common, savings. Now, you might not have lots of savings, you might hardly have any, but if you had a bit of savings in the bank, with a bit of luck, if you put it in a savings account, you'll get a little bit of interest on it. As you can see in this little table there, at the moment, interest rates are not brilliant, 2.5% probably for an ordinary account. So if you had £1,000 in the bank, you'd get a couple of quid a month. Not a lot, but at least it's growing slowly. Obviously, if you had 10,000 or 100,000, then you'd be earning more each month. £100,000 in the month, if you're earning 208 quid, and we talk about joining Kleeneze and getting an extra 50 or 100 pounds a week. So obviously, if you had £100,000 in the bank, you'd be getting something similar to that, just in interest on those savings. So that's one way that if you like, ordinary people can earn residual income. But you can also earn residual income as a Kleeneze distributor, and that is by becoming a team leader or a business builder, if you like. So just to compare how much you've got in savings and how much you would be earning with building a Kleeneze team, if you hit the 10% level, and if you don't know what that means, I'm not going to explain it in too many details, but basically by putting in around about £200 a week in orders, you'll be getting a bonus at the end of the period, and that's called the 10% level bonus. So if you get yourself to the 10% level and you find some other people who might be interested in earning a bit of extra money and they get to the 10% level as well, so as I said, they're around about £200 a week in orders, earning about £50 a week. So that's quite a common target for people to start off with. How many team members would you need to earn some residual income? Well, even with just 1 or 2 team members, you're going to be getting a little bit extra in your bonus each month. If you had 5 team members, all doing around about the same as you, then your monthly bonus would be about £200, £250. Now that's interesting. If you think, I don't know how difficult you think it would be to find 5 people, but if I was to say to you, over the next 12 months, do you think you could find 5 people who, like you, would be interested in earning a bit of extra money? Or do you think you'd be able to save up £100,000 and put it in a savings account? Now, most people would probably say, well, the chances of me getting 100 grand saved up is pretty slim, but I reckon I could probably find 5 people. So with Kleeneze, you only need to start doing a little bit of team building, and you can start earning residual income equivalent to quite large sums of savings. As I said there, what do you think is most likely? Saving up £100,000 or finding 5 people who just want to do the same as you do? Yep, thank you, Tony. I would agree with that. I think once you start thinking about team building and speaking to your sponsor about it, then your sponsor will be delighted to know that you're interested in building up a little bit of a team. So that's a great way to start building your residual income. So a quick way to start doing team building, if you're starting to now think about, oh, maybe I could find a few people over the next 12 months, how could we get started on that? So I mentioned earlier making a list of 10 people that you know, and this, if you know them, that's people on what we call your warm list. You already know them. You can ring them up and chat to them about whatever it is you've got in common. Another mum from the school, or a friend from the darts team, or whoever it might be. If you start to make a list of people and then call them up using what we call a third-party approach, and the third-party approach is very, very simple. All you do is you speak to them and say, "Hi Graham, how are you? Hope things are well." And Graham, obviously whatever the guy's name is or lady, would you do me a favour? I've just started a business and I'm looking to find some other people that might be interested in earning some extra money. If I sent you some information about how it works, would you have a look at it and let me know if you can think of anyone who might be interested? Bang, that's it. Literally, it takes about 15 seconds, 30 seconds if you have a good chat with them. You then send them some information. If you don't have any information yet, just speak to your sponsor, because obviously your sponsor will have had some information that they sent to you. So you can basically copy what they've done and send that to your friends. And then just give them a call a day or two later. Did you get a chance to have a look at it? What did you think? Did you think of anybody? And most of the time, you'll get people saying, "Oh yeah, that was interesting. I can't think of anybody at the moment, but if I do, I'll let you know." And that's fine. And just keep doing that. Keep adding people to your list every day. Again, one of those little disciplines about getting into a habit of doing this 21 days. Add 2 or 3 or 4 people to your list every day. Give them a quick call. Send them some information. Because what you're doing with this is you're sowing some seeds. Those people that you speak to might not know anybody who's interested, and they may not be interested themselves, but they now know that you have an opportunity where they could earn some extra money. And that's perfect, because you never know when someone's circumstances change. You never know when somebody's hours get cut at work, or somebody's expecting a baby and they need some extra money, or they have to take maternity leave and they need something flexible, or for whatever reasons. You never know when that might happen. So by sowing the seeds and keeping in touch with them, and things like Facebook are amazing like this now. You can be kind of putting things on Facebook about how successful things are going, and the fact that you've just saved up for your holiday, which was your goal 6 months ago, and you can't believe you've saved up enough for doing this. And all of your friends are suddenly going to be thinking, "Oh, you know what, she seems to be doing a lot better these days since she got into that Kleeneze thingamajig. Maybe I better have a look at that information that she sent me after all." And that's exactly what you're trying to achieve. You just want people to think of you when their circumstances change. Okay, coming towards the end of the webinar now, nearly 8:30. Quick question to see who's fast asleep and who has been watching. Can you remember at the beginning I talked about a couple of different ways to earn money in Kleeneze? Oh yeah, Shan, very good. Despite having kids, you're still awake. That's fantastic. Order some catalogues. Yeah, Abu Bakr. Yeah, very good. Order some catalogues. Yeah, team building. Very good. Residual team building, yeah, Leslie, that's the residual is really the kind of the team building side, but retail and team building, yeah, thank you, Sue. Good, good. Everybody, R&S, sorry, that sounds like some, oh no, that's S&M I'm thinking of, sorry. Yes, you're right there. The retail side basically and the team building side. And can you remember I talked about a couple of different ways to earn £200 a month residual income? Can you remember what the two different ways were? Yeah, 800 catalogues a month, although that's not what I was meaning when I was talking about residual income. This was when I was talking about if you had £100,000 in the bank. Yeah, Peter and Myrna, thank you. If you had £100,000 in the bank, or if you had 5 team members, you know, they would be two different ways of building a residual income. So very good. Yep, thank you guys. Yep, 100,000 in savings or that. And I said when I first started, you obviously set your goals and your results, but I've said focus on what? Oh guys, you're all ahead of me. Above our car, thank you. Actions, focus on your activities, your action. That's it. Well done everybody. Focus on your actions because you can control your actions. You can decide whether you put your Facebook adverts out, whether you deliver your catalogues, whether you make those follow-up calls, whether you deliver the leaflets. You can't necessarily control the orders and who joins your team, but you can control your own activities. There you go, focus on your actions, which you can control. Okay, so what we've covered this evening is setting and achieving goals. This is something I think that you should really work closely with your sponsor and your team leaders, because goal setting is a really powerful way to grow your business. Making sure you've gone through that little checklist. The most important bit on that checklist is try to do something with Kleeneze every single day. A bit of an introduction to residual income and to team building. Okay, so that's the end of this webinar. As you can see there, that was number 2. Next week, we're talking about building your customer base. So please tune in for that one if you're interested. And I mentioned at the beginning that all of these webinars are recorded. So I'm just going to stop